I truly believed yoga was my path to peace. I thought that if I just practiced more, taught more classes, showed up harder, that everything was finally going to feel good. But instead of grounding me, yoga almost broke me. And not because yoga is harmful, but because hustle culture followed me right onto the mat. And today I want to share how something meant to heal me quietly turned into another performance, and how burnout forced me to finally choose balance over proving myself. So if you're someone who turned wellness into another thing to be good at, this is probably going to sound familiar. So when I opened my health wellness studio, I was absolutely energized in a way that I had never felt before. It felt purposeful. It was meaningful. It felt like I was finally doing the work that I was meant to do. I wasn't just teaching yoga. I was creating a community. I was holding space. I was helping women slow down, breathe, and reconnect to themselves, those that desperately needed a pause. At least that was the intention. In the beginning, every class felt sacred. I showed up early. I stayed late. I answered every message. I said yes to everything because I believed that passion meant availability. And honestly, the praise felt good. Being needed felt very validating. Being the strong one felt like success. I didn't notice at first that the same achievement mindset I used in business had quietly slipped into my wellness life. Slowly, without noticing, enough disappeared. More classes became the standard. More availability became expected. More output became the measure of success. I felt pressure to always show up at full capacity, even when my body was asking for something different. I ignored tightness, fatigue, and emotional exhaustion because rest felt like falling behind. Wellness became performative. Healing became something I had to earn. And here's the uncomfortable truth: burnout in the wellness industry is hard to spot because it looks productive. I was helping people, I was growing a business, I was doing all the right things, but internally felt absolutely disconnected from my own practice. So my body started whispering before it screamed: tight hips, chronic fatigue, a nervous system that never was able to power down. And instead of listening, I pushed harder because high achieving women, they don't slow down. They just optimize. So I turned self-care into another checkbox, another thing to do correctly, another way to earn rest instead of receive it. And that's when yoga stopped feeling like healing. It became a performance, a role, an identity I didn't know how to step out of. And even now, I can feel that deep conditioning within my body. And actually, just the other day, I stepped on my mat to practice, and before I even moved, a wave of anxiety rushed through me. Nothing was wrong, nothing was urgent, but my nervous system was bracing like it expected effort instead of ease. So I paused. I reminded myself that I'm safe. I didn't need to push. I was allowed to move slowly or not at all. And that moment showed me something important. Burnout doesn't just disappear, it softens when we meet it with awareness instead of force. So the wake up moment wasn't dramatic, it was very quiet. I remember standing in the studio already depleted before a class, realizing I couldn't keep teaching classes and balance the life that I was trying to live and constant overextension. I realized that I was teaching women to slow down while modeling the exact opposite. I was guiding rest while avoiding it myself. And I finally admitted that I had brought hustle culture into a sacred space, and it didn't belong there. That moment cracked something open. Not guilt, clarity. And instead of asking, like, how can I do more? Because I was always about more, more, more. I asked, how can I create impact without sacrificing myself? And that's when I made a decision that felt really scary and deeply aligned. I started teaching fewer classes. I reclaimed my time and I stopped equating impact with physical presence. I created a yoga membership that allowed me to guide people beyond the studio walls instead of being tied to a packed schedule. I could not only support women consistently, intentionally, but now globally. And this shift gave me control over my energy. It allowed me to teach in a way that felt sustainable. And surprisingly, my impact continued to grow. I wasn't doing less meaningful work. I was doing work that respected my nervous system. And that shift is exactly what became the foundation of the work that I do now. Not pushing women to do more, but helping them build lives that actually support their energy. So my relationship with yoga changed completely. It stopped being about performance, started being about presence. It became less about discipline and more about discernment. The true healing wasn't found in doing more. It was found in listening more closely. I learned that alignment often looks quieter and that sustainable success feels spacious, not frantic. So here's what this journey taught me. Rest is a strategy, not a reward. Boundaries are an act of leadership, and self-care should support your life, not consume it. If your healthy habits feel rigid, they're probably rooted in control. And if rest has to be earned for you, you're still hustling. So for my high achieving women watching this, you don't need another routine. You need permission to slow down without guilt. Start by doing less with intention. Protect your energy before it's depleted. Create structures that support your long-term well-being. And create boundaries before your body forces them for you. Fusing alignment over hustle changed everything for me, not overnight, but steadily. If this story resonated, Evolve is where I guide women through building sustainable energy, clear boundaries, and a slower, more supportive way of living with a different relationship with success. You can learn more below or join the community to continue the conversation because wellness should feel like home, not another job.